They say hunting and fishing can be dated back more than 2 million years. Throughout the years, the historic angler and hunter has steadily evolved into the avid hunter and angler that we know and love today. Welcome to the Outdoor Defiance podcast. As you listen, you will hear comical stories, companies talking about their products, researchers talking about their research, and overall ways to help you become a better outdoorsman. Welcome to today's episode.
What up, guys? It's episode 7. I'm very excited for this episode. We have a special guest with us, and through this whole time, I caught him on TikTok, and like many of you probably have, and I've watched him blow up from just a couple videos. But with further ado, this is Chuck with GritKnives. Chuck, how are you?
Living the dream.
So Chuck is actually snowboarding this week, and while we have to work, he's enjoying life a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm still working as well. Holding down the fort.
I can't snowboard. I've skied a little bit. So like I got pretty decent at skiing when I was younger, but I can just tell you now, if I got up there right now, I'd probably just bite it. But like I'd pick it up, but you probably run circles around me.
Yeah, I've never snowboarded or skied. So.
Yeah, it's kind of a different aspect of the hunting sphere, you know.
So we'll get more into that here in a little bit, but let's just jump into it and let's get started on how you started GritKnives.
So GritKnives was started out of necessity. I've been a graphic designer by trade, building brands for over 20 years. And the pandemic like really hit me hard. I had a couple clients go under because, you know, they couldn't get necessary parts and they all went bankrupt. And at the end of the pandemic, I was broke. I had like $3,000 to my name. I was just about to turn 50 and like had to move in with my parents. I was on my way to be a Class A loser. And, you know, I just was like thinking that I built so many brands for other people. Why don't I just build one for myself? And I was looking at like all the resources. I had a ton of free time because I didn't have a job. And I have, fortunately, my family started a business that imported corkscrews. And they engrave on the corkscrews. And I have 2 like really generous cousins that I approached them like I want to do something in the outdoor space, and knives weren't a far stretch from corkscrews. So I used a lot of their connections and kind of, you know, asked them if I could use their engraving machines when they're gone. And I used all their importers, people that would recommend products and give me connections to factories. And they really like helped me out. And I mean, with all my free time, I was just like, yeah, a knife company would be awesome. It would allow me to stay in the outdoor space, and it allows me to be like as creative as possible. Like in the creative industry, people always have opinions, and you're constantly like, you know, listening to other people and modifying your designs, and it's constant rejection. With GritKnives, I just kind of got to do whatever I wanted. And I came up with the name. And from there, I met with my cousins and asked them if I could, you know, use their equipment when they were down. They were like fully supported it. And then from there, you know, I didn't grow up in a hunting family, but I had like a really good friend. His name's Hendrik. Hence the knife. I named a knife after him. And he was like my sounding board for what a really good hunting knife was. And I basically would like get his backing, like use this. And he was always giving me tips. So through my cousins helping me out with the manufacturing, and my buddy who's the best hunter you've never heard of, I started GritKnives with the last $3,000 I had. So
when I was on the phone with you the other day, you told me a real cool story of actually how you got the logo. Would you go ahead and share that, please?
yeah. So the logo is actually created when during this time I had prepaid for a really expensive snowboarding trip, and I was still broke, but the snowboard trip was like paid for, and I'm sitting in this just amazing environment in the middle of BC, and just all these ideas are percolating in my head, and I literally drew that logo out when I was on that trip, and it's like I hand drew it, and when I got home I refined it, and the name Grit came after the logo. So for the logo I picked a pig because I live in Monterey County, and that has the best pig hunting in California, and it's also one of the most resilient animals to hunt. And the cool story about why Monterey County has really good pig hunting is because the guy that the Great Gatsby, the original Great Gatsby, lived in Monterey, and he was a big hunter, and he had this giant hunting property, and he imported some pigs that came from like Siberia, and they made their way to North or South Carolina and got them here and set them loose.
Wow.
And there's like a story of William Randolph Hearst saying that, like, hey man, your big boars got down to my property, which is like 80 miles south of Monterey, but we have like some pretty big pigs with my first pig that I actually shot with my bow has like over 3-inch cutters.
Wow.
Yeah, we have really good pig hunting. And plus the Salinas Valley is a big agricultural area. So it's like the pigs decimate the crops and stuff. So
Yeah, we have them pretty bad here, but we don't have them. If you get big cutters, that's rare, but we do have the numbers here. So
yeah.
I finally got them cleared off mine, I think. Not really cleared off, but there's not 80 on it at any given night now. There's only like 20.
So are the pigs that you're talking about, are they the full black with the kind of like the Russian boars that are just straight black with the big mohawks down the top of them?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, we kind of have like a hybrid of a farm pig and a wild pig down here.
Yep.
So
yeah, we got some spots over in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have all kinds now. I mean, I've seen like full blonde ones and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you get the full breed and they're just nasty looking. I mean, if I was at my house, I'd show you the skull of the one I got with my bow. They're sharp cutters too.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, I caught you on TikTok, like probably most of these people have when they're listening or recognize you. You're that's where your claim to fame, where you blew up was TikTok. And so kind of how have you used or how'd you decide to use social media to kind of boost your business?
Well, my original plan, I created a store and uploaded the website, and the original plan was to sell it on Instagram, and then they wouldn't let me sell anything because they considered the knives a weapon.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think of that. So when I first launched the website a year and a half ago, it was mostly like family and friends just buying knives. And then I got on TikTok, and I distinctly remember an order of somebody buying the Hendrick from Tennessee. And it was like the first time somebody bought a knife that I didn't know. And I was like completely blown away by it. I was super excited for one order. And then I started doing TikTok, which like my early TikToks were like me blabbing away. And then I came out with a surgeon. And that was crazy because I came out with that and did a TikTok on it and posted it. And, you know, I come from a big Italian family and we have dinner at my parents' house every Sunday night. And I remember I'm still living at my parents'. I posted it like 2:00 in the afternoon and we're eating dinner. And I start getting orders in. And like, I was like, what the heck? And they're all people that I didn't know. And so we're sitting at dinner. I'm like, Mom, I got another order. They're like, oh, great, cool. And then I like literally sold out of like 50 of them in like 15 minutes. And I was like, this isn't, something's broken. And we're all laughing about it. Like, wow, I don't even know if I have enough packing material for this. And then I looked on the TikTok and it was like probably within five hours, it was like over 200,000.
Wow.
That was the very first one that just went nuts. But then
what did your followers jump from? Do you remember?
Oh, it was like even my 17-year-old daughter was like, you know, I probably had about at that time maybe 500, but like after you get to a point, it just stops counting at like 99.
Yeah.
That little button was like always at 99. My daughter was like, whoa, this is crazy. I've never seen this. So I think maybe the hunters, the surgeon probably jumped like to a couple thousand.
Wow.
But then once I came out with the hunter scalpel, that's when stuff went crazy.
Wow.
And from there, my parents thought I might be selling drugs because I'm going to the shopping. I'm going to the post office like 3 or 4 times a day with full laundry baskets filled with orders. So it was pretty cool for my parents to even witness this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's awesome. You started talking about your family, and this kind of leads to the next question. And we talked about this on the phone, and I think this is an awesome thing. And I told you on the phone too that a lot of the people we talk to have this same kind of people to help them run it. So, kind of who helps you run your operation?
I do the majority of the stuff. Like I do all the product photography. I manage the website. I write the descriptions for the knives. So I'm pretty much like a one-man show. I do all the customer service. Like somebody chats with me on the little chat thing on my website. It goes directly to my phone. I do have my daughter she's 17 and she does all my packaging and she's amazing. She's meticulous about it. And then I have my mom and dad do all the fulfillment, especially like now when I'm not home. My mom is like, she's so good at it. And like, you know, sometimes you might get an extra knife or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah. So it's just really the 4 of us. I use my cousin who has the Corkscrew Company as a sounding board for business decisions. And I have my buddy Hendrik, who's like he kind of like looks at all the knives and gives me feedback on them.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that's about it. I love it when I get these emails of like, oh, you're manufacturing, and they think I'm some big company, but really it's just me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, now I'm upset because your mom didn't do my order apparently because I didn't get an extra knife.
Oh, I think
I was
it's
going to say, I'm going to write that down.
I get like a few emails like, hey man, thanks for the extra knife. And I really appreciate it, especially around Christmas time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And hold on, I will say this is actually pretty cool. because I know one of those orders, they gave the person the wrong knife, and like I was like super apologetic because it was one of the first times like an order was screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea who this person was, but this guy is like my best customer. He buys every single knife after that. And you know, I'll do like custom knives for him and stuff, because if I
Yeah.
come out with a new knife, he's always buying two.
That's awesome.
So
So, how many current models do you have out right now? Like, I guess current knives do you have out right now?
I keep it at like a dozen. I mean, it changes. I like to keep it super simple. I don't want to overwhelm people with decisions. I think I've learned that from design. And you know, it depends what's available and you know, what's popular. But yeah, I usually keep like no more than 12 products per page. So
Okay.
and I think that served me well, as opposed to having like just infinite number of products. You know, people, I feel like it's easier to make a decision when there's just like 6 of them.
Yeah. When we got our logo for Outdoor Defiance, we got a whole page of like 14 or 15 of them. I remember just looking at that page going, how do we decide?
Yeah.
And so we printed off 3 sheets and basically started going through and marking, you know, there was 3 of us at the time, just marking out the ones we didn't want. And then we all came around and were like, all right, here's our top 3. And the one that we have actually was in the top 3 for everyone. So that was awesome how that worked out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that being overwhelmed. It's a real deal. So what are your goals with GritKnives?
Well, I think first I'd love to get my own space. I just bought like my own engraver. You know, I'd love to have like at least a warehouse to start storing the stuff, because all my stuff spread out between my parents' house and my apartment. And so that's the first one. You know, my ultimate goal would be to make them here in the United States. I would love to be able to do all the manufacturing here. I mean, just that would be the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But you know, as I look at it, like the whole business, this is literally my dream job. I mean, I'm involved in the outdoors. I love being creative, and I don't have a boss. I kind of
That's a huge thing right there.
Yeah, I'm not working for the man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
my measure of like wealth and success is not really so much in decimal points, but really about my days in the field and my number of days snowboarding.
Yeah.
I last year I calculated I spent like half the year either snowboarding or hunting. Like
Wow, that's
literally
awesome.
almost 150 days. 85, I did 83 days of snowboarding, and I think probably 50 days in the field of hunting. So for me, that's the measure of wealth right there.
Yeah.
So what are a couple of your goals for like your customers?
Oh, I want to give somebody like something unique, something that, you know, nobody else has. I want it to be good quality, and I want it to be reasonable. You know, I told you the story yesterday on how I had like a $350 hunting knife and I lost it. And that was like heartbreaking to lose a knife like that. You know, you're supposed to have like a lifetime knife. Well, I got excited. I was gutting a turkey and that thing disappeared. So I want to make it affordable. So affordable and unique. Those are really the things that I focus on. And killer customer service.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of good stuff about your customer service from online, just reading. When I go to buy something, I'm really hard at deciding what I want. I'm almost like my girlfriend makes fun of me, but I'm almost like a girl. I'll sit there and have to look at everything, and then then I'll leave the store, and I have a good 2 or 3 days of just searching everything. So when I found you on social media, I was like, oh, I'm looking into him. If he has good product, I'd love to see what he has. And like I told you on the phone, I ordered that hunter scalpel, and I've given that thing to run for its money, and it has not broke. And I will say your quality is there. And I do, like I said, a lot of the comments were the customer service was great, and one guy said that he did get to talk to you straight to you, and he loved that. So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not everybody's happy, but I'll do what it takes to make
Yeah.
you happy because, people work hard for their money. I
Yeah.
hate getting ripped off.
Yep.
So, I think that's super important, and especially because it's just me.
Yeah.
It's not some big corporation.
So what would you say a couple of your favorite knives are?
My personal favorite knife for hunting is the Blackout. Like, that is D2 steel, and it holds an edge like just so well. I've gutted multiple pigs without having to, skinned them out, without having to, sharpen it. I love the length of the blade. That's what I carry with me when I go hunting. And I have like the original one. It's hanging on my wall. That's like my favorite. I carry the Winfield with me just because it's nice and small, and it's like full grip. It's just a nice everyday carry. And what's the other one? The Beckworth. That's like a really simple skinner. There aren't like any nothing's gonna break on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my favorite.
My favorites, and like I said, I haven't ordered, but this one, and then my buddy ordered, I want to say 6 or 7, but I know he ordered a couple of the same ones, and I've seen them and dealt with them, and but my favorite's been the hunter scalpel. Like I said, I do some taxidermy on the side. Me and Gunnar are constantly cleaning birds. We have, deer and all that, and even the blade that comes with it. And another thing we talked about, the blade lasts for me on multiple uses, but also you can go get scalpel blades for it. There's some other companies that they make their own blade, and for 10 of them, it's unreal to buy a new one. And so with the hunter scalpel and a couple of your other ones, you can go online and which you do sell them yourself. I know that.
Yeah.
And but you can go online too, or if you're in a bind and need to run into Atwoods or a farm store wherever you're hunting, you can pick up the blades there too, and they'll fit. So that's awesome too.
Yeah, I love that. That's like a real added value. I hate those proprietary blade systems. I mean, it just, you can get a box of them for pretty cheap on Amazon if you really wanted to. And, it's fine. It's surgical quality.
Yeah.
blade.
Yeah, I know I've nicked myself a few times. I can't lie about that. But
I can't help but cut myself
Yeah.
with everything. So it might not be a good idea I order one of your knives because I'm not even kidding. I can't go without skinning or cleaning or breasting on anything without cutting myself. It's just I'm looking at your collection right now, and it's looking like the Beckworth is calling my name. So
yeah, that one. Actually, the very first time I got that, I really sliced my finger pretty good. I actually posted a picture on Instagram, and they took it down because it was too bloody.
Yeah,
But
they get wild with what they take down.
I think my buddy sewed me up. He's a doctor, so he sewed me up at the kitchen table. I got some great pictures, but every time I post them, they take them down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty good, solid knife as well.
I know every time I went to go order a hunter scalpel, they were out of stock, and finally he posted one, and I mean I was there in 2 or 3 minutes after you posted that, and I ordered one, and I called my buddy and I was like, "Hey, they're in stock. You better go." And I know that was in 30 or 40 minutes after I told him. So all together, you're probably looking 50 minutes ish, give or take. And he got on there and they were gone already. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That has to be an awesome feeling for you to see your product. People want it that bad that it's just gone in 40 minutes.
Yeah. It was crazy.
So what would you say, like, your OGs, like your best knives, like, say, give your three. I know you said your three favorite, but what, kind of your three that, like, are your special that you can't keep in stock? You feel like you have a hard time keeping them in stock, and um, you just don't want to get rid of them and move on to a different model. What would you say those would
Oh,
be?
okay. Definitely Hunter Scalpel's number one. And there's actually been some cool iterations since I originally released it. Like,
Mhm.
I've gotten a tighter, richer micarta. Like, the Midnight Hunter Scalpels are pretty cool because it's a tighter weave than the previous version. Number two is the Agent. That's like a 60 blade replaceable scalpel. Those are cool too because it doesn't look like a knife,
Mhm.
and it's very unassuming. Like, it's almost like an executive blade. And then number three, I'd say the Beckworth. I sell a lot of those fixed blade, nice skinners. They come with Kydex sheaths.
Mhm.
It's a nice little package. And then depending on what stickers, I'll put like different artwork on them. And then
Yeah.
it comes with the sticker that matches the artwork. So
Oh, that's cool.
that's cool. It adds a bit of uniqueness to it. And like, then I'll end up making a shirt out of it and stuff.
Yeah.
People love that stuff. It's
And then
unique. They're the only ones with it.
And you design that, and you do all the graphic design work yourself, don't you?
Yeah, like all of it. And that's extremely satisfying to me because, um, you know, most of my stuff that I do like professionally
Mhm.
is like I never get to see it. But this is like something tangible that you have in your hand. And
Yeah.
as a designer, that is really special as well. Yeah, I'm super excited to start coming out with like some everyday carry items. Let's see. I have like this is like an organizational pouch, you know. I'm coming out with more shirts. The shirts get printed in Louisiana. So that's kind of cool. They're pretty like high quality. What else? One of the other things that I'm super into is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I
Yeah.
did a little side project of doing the nail clippers
Yeah.
as a joke, and that took off. And then I also do like rash guards with my artwork on it and stuff. So yeah.
Wow.
The
So
nail clippers are funny. That's like they're good quality, but the fact that they sell out all the time is also kind of ridiculous.
they're pretty neat looking, though. I've always thought about ordering some, and I
Yeah,
just haven't yet.
Well,
How about the mat
apparently,
clips?
fly fishermen really
Oh, yeah?
like it for
Oh yeah.
clipping. I'm not a fisherman, but I had a couple people tell me that I need to market them toward fishermen.
That makes a lot of sense because mine that I always use are bulky,
Yeah.
and I've always been like, "Man, if I could have something a little smaller, it wouldn't take up." It doesn't take up much room. But they're just
Mhm.
never compact, or if they are, then they don't last that long. So I didn't even think of that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
They're sold out right now.
I know they are.
I've been looking up and down here, and you said that, and I was like, well, yeah.
And then
That's
your
funny.
notebooks, is one of them? Is it the silver one? Is that an actual, like, a hard, or like a piece of metal, or what is that? Or does it just look like one? I haven't got one yet.
Oh, yeah, these little notepads.
What
So,
about the silver ones?
the bigger ones, the Pioneers pad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like it's similar to a moleskin.
Okay.
And on the top is like embossed topo
Mhm.
map. And what else? They have like a dot pattern as
Yeah.
opposed to line. And yeah, they're just super nice little notepads. And that's probably because I'm a graphic designer.
Yeah.
I love making that stuff. But
Well, I wish I had my notepad around me. It's just a big it's just your normal piece of paper, and then you can take out the replace the notepad parts with another little whatever notepad sheet. But
yeah.
if you ever want to make one of those, let me know because that is everyday use of mine. And I've been waiting, I'm kind of watching along to see if you're going to release because I knew you got the bigger ones and you came out the red ones you just hold up, and I'm like, man,
Yeah.
you come out with a big.
Yeah. These are cool because they fit in your pocket and then you can tear out the pages as you use them. I'm
Uh-huh.
a big note taker, especially when I'm hunting, you know. There's a lot of downtime, so I end up drawing or taking notes.
And I wish I could draw. I won one art contest in school, and after that, I just
I'll
couldn't
tell
draw.
you.
It's like I could never draw again.
I'll tell you. So this is how good I am at art. You ready? We had art class and we had art appreciation, and you had to have, an art credit to graduate high school, or like a literature or something. But yeah, I was art appreciation because I was no way I was making an art production. So so there's no way. I I told my art teacher, I was like, if I had any artistic ability whatsoever, I would do your art production class, but I have zero. So you're just gonna have to deal with me in art appreciation. So
Yeah, I went and was supposed to go pick up my art picture at the art show with my dad, and we walked in, and I was like, I think mine's over here. That's they kind of had like the grade, and I went over there, and I couldn't find mine, and I was like, man, maybe it's that bad, And my art teacher came up and said, "Hey, yours is over on that board," and I looked over there, and he pointed at like class winners, and I was like, no way. And sure enough, went over there. My dad looked at me, and we left. And I got like $50 for winning. When we left, my dad was like, "How much did you have to pay someone to draw that for you?" And I said, "Dad, I promise I drew this one, but I was like, I don't know how. I don't know how I just decided I could draw for one picture because after that, I couldn't do anything." So yeah, that's an awesome art to have. I'm if I had to choose, a lot of people would rather sing, but I wish I could draw because there's a lot of times I'm just sitting there looking at something. I'm like, man, I wish I could sketch that. So
I gotta say, taxidermy is, you know, that's quite an art form in itself. I mean,
yeah, it's fun.
3D, that mystifies me.
Yeah, it's it's more of a hobby than anything. But yeah, I don't really know how to build cars. I don't know how to do a lot of stuff like that. So I decided I want to learn something to do that I call my tinkering, and that's what I decided to learn to do. So it's been fun. So let's go to number 6. If there are people out there that are scared to take a leap of faith and start a business, what are your words of advice for them?
So the first thing I would say is get good at something. So I have spent 20 years at graphic design to where I finally got to the point and found a niche that I knew I was going to make a cool brand that people could relate to and want to, wear the brand. So that's the first part of it. The second is you got to find something you're passionate about and don't do it strictly for the money,
Mhm.
because when you do something for the money, I feel like people see through it. Like I live this stuff, like creative graphic design, drawing, outdoors, hunting, like it's in my blood.
Mhm.
So I don't feel like since I started GritKnives that I've really worked,
Yeah.
and that's the ultimate goal.
Oh yeah,
To
absolutely.
not have it. I don't have a job. I don't consider it a job. I've been like really, really fortunate to make what I love the way I fund my habits.
So we kind of heard about GritKnives and how you kind of got famous there and all about that and who works for you and a lot of cool stories. And I'm super stoked to actually get to know you and get to meet with you and kind of see where you grow. And like I said, I remember the first time I saw you on TikTok, I was like, I have to go follow this guy. There's something cool about you, and I did. And I wish I remember what exact video. I'd have to go look. But then I remember you posted that one that just blew up, and I remember I was like, "Holy cow, this is awesome!" So that's awesome about that. So let's go into kind of what you do when you're not working with GritKnives, and like kind of how do you spend your time in the outdoors?
So I kind of have gotten in this routine of splitting the outdoors in splitting the year in half. So mostly, I snowboard for 6 months out of the year. And then once the snow goes away in May, I start hunting all the way until Thanksgiving. So I'll usually like start scouting for deer, setting up a few trail cams because I only hunt on public land.
Mm-hmm.
And, once deer season comes, it's full on. In California, you can get 2 deer tags and you can get a bear tag too, which I haven't harvested bear, but this year I'm gonna definitely. And, so I spend a ton of time in the outdoors. Ironically, I snowboard in the same spots that I hunt.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm really into like backcountry snowboarding. It's called split boarding, where you climb up the mountain, you hike in the wilderness, and like I literally snowboard the same spots, and then I show up when the snow's gone and can deer hunt there.
Wow, that's cool.
So
you're scouting. I mean, you're out there all year. I imagine that's beneficial, not just as an outdoorsman, but as a guy that's learning the area. I bet that's cool to me that you're just always out there.
Yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time on the computer, and I started hunting a lot about 7 years ago. And for me to step away from the computer, I do a lot of solo hunting, and to not have phone reception and just go out in the outdoors. I mean, for me, that's a really big reset.
Yes.
And hang on, this fire is like, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Should I mix it up or is it messing up the audio?
No, it's not that loud. I can hear it clicking though. That's pretty neat.
I think the wind is picked up, so it's pulling air through.
Yeah.
We have a really big storm coming. Like, it'll make national news.
Wow.
That's gonna be here, and they're saying like 100 inches are coming here of snow. So, all right, I diverged.
So do you like, so say if 100 inches come tonight, do you have to wait a certain time to go back out and snowboard, or do you just go get it with fresh powder?
No. You gotta, I mean, I could play around in the front yard and stuff, but no, it's super dangerous with avalanches and stuff.
That's what I was kind of wondering about.
Yeah. So the actual ski resort is super close, and they bomb the avalanches and they make it safe. Pretty much you're like stuck in the house.
Yeah. So is that like an apartment or is that like an Airbnb?
This is a cabin that 2 of my really good buddies and we rent it for 6 months. So,
it looks cool. I'm just admiring it.
Yeah, it's super cool. It was built in the 50s. And snowboarding is so important to me that I need a place to stay consistently.
Yeah. Well, yeah, didn't you say about 150 to 160 days, which I know we're probably repeating that, but didn't you say you usually snowboard or used to maybe?
So when I was on the K2 snowboard team, I was snowboarding like 200 days a year.
Wow.
But my goal is to get at least. So I'm 51 right now. So my goal is to get at least 51 days of snowboarding. And as I get older, that number is going to increase.
That's awesome. What's been your worst accident snowboarding?
Let's see. I wear a helmet and it saved my life. This is probably, there's still a part of me that like a 18-year-old kid, I think I'm 18 and it comes back. And
Uh-huh.
I did a jump and landed on one of the handrails and smacked my head and snapped the helmet in half
Oh
and
wow.
broke my ankle. That was like maybe 10 years ago. So,
Wow.
I get on that snowboard and I forget like that I'm closer to dead than being young.
Oh man. Yeah, I've always wanted to go. I need to do it sometime. That sounds so much fun.
I've skied. Like I said, I haven't snowboarded. I tried it once, wasn't great at it. I went back to skiing and I was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I started getting confident going down blacks and stuff, but I'm not like backcountry skiing.
Yeah.
I'd probably lose something going backcountry skiing at my skill level right now.
Yep.
What does the outdoors mean to you?
The outdoors is like a full-on reset for me. I know I already said this, like I sit in front of the computer and especially with the way our whole culture is going, people with their heads in the phone and being so connected to the internet, the outdoors is like, I'll do a solo hunt for a few days and go out by myself. And there's just time, especially in midday when nothing's moving, that, you're sitting there with only the thoughts in your head, nobody telling you. And it's really just refreshing. I feel like I'll go out in the wilderness by myself. I won't see anybody for a few days. And I come back and I feel like people are yelling at me because it's all quiet. And I just really have learned to appreciate being out in the wilderness. And you start appreciating just the beauty of a bird hovering
Yeah.
over you and stuff. And, with this digital world and the way we're getting, I think a lot of that appreciation for those simple things is being lost.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
I got to a point where I was out there to hunt. I had the mindset just to get out, and when we started videoing, I mean, my whole outlook now on hunting is way different because I'm out there trying to find the littlest thing that'll make the video that much extra, and so it like ties me a lot more to hunting and nature. And some of the stuff I find and try to video, or a lot of times I'm like, oh, that's gonna be neat. Please stay there, and it'll be a bird doing something random. I'm like, please stay there, and I'm trying to get everything fixed on it. By the time I'm going to hit record, it flies off from what it was doing. So definitely filming has definitely got me to where it's refreshing, just like you said. It brings a whole new aspect of where I'm not just there waiting on a deer. I'm watching the world wake up. So I get when you say that how refreshing it is, because it is.
yep. Yeah, I love that idea of watching the world wake up because, the amount of sunsets and sunrises that I've seen since I started, hunting consistently it's crazy, and yeah, it really makes you appreciate life.
Yeah.
I gained because I got to go to Wyoming this last summer and do like a tech job over there. I gained a new appreciation for a lot of that stuff because I went to Wyoming and I went to Cookson, this mountain range over there in Oklahoma, and we were looking for different bird species and stuff, and we'd find like some kind of bird species up there that they're like, holy cow, I've never seen this bird, stuff like that I gained a new appreciation for. Like we found a worm-eating warbler one day, and it was like a big deal up there. We like started calling people and all kinds of stuff, and seeing something as little as like a swift fox that comes out of its den that no one else, a lot of people don't ever get to see a swift fox, and that's something I got to see. And like, things like that we take for granted now.
Yep.
That elk over there 10 miles back, you may be the first person he's ever seen. You may be the first, that might be the first time that's elk's ever been seen by a person. And just things like that put things like we do into perspective a little bit.
Yeah, there was Gunner got to see a rattlesnake climb into a prairie dog's den, and when he was sending me the pictures and videos, I was just like, man, like just to think, like that's something that a lot of people don't think about happening, and he got to witness that. Just stuff like that. Like he said, it just brings a whole different perspective of the outdoors, and if you're listening and you're like, oh, I don't really take in a lot of stuff, make a goal this year to for sure take in the outdoors, take in the bird that starts making its sound at daylight, make sure the turkeys that are roosting. There's stuff there that there's a lot of people wish they could take in. And I just, like I said, just make it a goal this year to get connected, and you will not regret how refreshed and like how you feel after that hunt. It's a different feeling in my opinion. So.
Yep. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So, because I hunt public land, like I'm not harvesting a ton of animals. And on top of that, it's like I almost think if I see the target species, like I've already won.
Yeah.
And, just to get even close to a deer on public land is like, I can leave with like, an appreciation, and I feel like I've gained something. Where a lot of people a lot of my friends are like joking with me, like, "Oh, you're PETA's favorite hunter," because I'm not coming back with anything, or they're like, "Oh, are you taking your bow for a walk?" But they're missing the whole point of being out in the outdoors and just enjoying nature,
So when you're in California, you said you mainly bow hunt. Do you do any rifle hunting up there, or?
Oh, no. I do mostly rifle hunting now.
Okay.
I started out bow hunting, and I'll go during the archery season and bow hunt, but once rifle starts, I'll bring my rifle.
Didn't you say it took you like 4 years to kill your first pig or harvest your first pig with your bow?
Oh, yeah, at least. It took a long time. And like beginner's luck, I think I've been like going out to public land for maybe 6 months, and I went and found a pig, got within 20 yards, and I didn't think I was that close, which is like getting 20 yards with a pig's pretty amazing. And I shot and missed. Went right over its back.
When you got your first harvest, how was that feeling?
That was awesome. I kind of feel bad because it wasn't a super clean kill.
Mm-hmm.
But just to be honest with it, like I nailed it right in the shield, and it only went in one lung. But and it took forever to find it, and by the time we found it, it was like the meat had already gone bad.
Yeah.
It was a kind of a disaster, but I have the lower jaw still. A bear got at it before we did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that in itself is a whole story. But yeah, it was cool. It was very cool to like finally, harvest something. Plus, it was like a trophy boar. But yeah, the other ones have been shot with rifles.
What's your biggest one to date?
The biggest pig?
Yeah.
Was the first one. The rest have been sows, and it's hard to come to get one of those lone boars. They're pretty smart.
Yeah.
They've been around the block, so they know they're being hunted, and But
So what's the train? I mean, I know you're snowboarding, so obviously mountains. Are you still? Is it whitetail still up there, or what
so
deer are
in
you seeing?
California, we have Colombian blacktail.
Okay, that's
So
what I
they're
thought
kind
it
of a
was.
mix of muley. Apparently, you can't get on the Pope and Young or whatever the rating system is if you kill a Colombian blacktail. But and then where I am now in Tahoe are muley deers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a mix between the two. We don't have whitetails here.
I didn't think so, but I didn't want to splat that
Yeah.
off and be wrong. Have you ever shot a blacktail?
Yeah, so I got my first public land buck about not last season, but the season before that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was awesome. It was with my buddy Henrik. And, this guy is like the animal whisperer because I've been going up to this spot multiple times. And it was in Big Sur, Ventana Wilderness. And we hiked up about 3,000 vertical feet, get up there at sunrise, don't see anything. We turn around across the valley, we see 3 bucks.
Oh
And
wow!
like I got a shot off and it was like perfect shot, dropped it, and then it took us about, I don't know, maybe 5 hours to get it out. We had to pack it out. It was absolutely miserable. We ran out of water packing it out, but yeah, that skull, I Euro mounted it myself, and that is like the centerpiece of my house. So proud of that. I still left the tag on the antler.
Yeah.
Because in
That is cool.
California, once you get a tag, you got to have like a public service person sign off on it.
Uh-huh.
And like I thought that was the coolest thing, to pull over a CHP and be like, hey, I got a tag you got to sign. Like I took a picture of that, the CHP signing off on my deer tag and stuff. So
Did you guys get it in one
That's
trip,
a-
or did it take multiple?
oh yeah, we did. There's actually a picture on my website, I think on the about section or something,
Mhm.
of me hanging it from a tree, boning it out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's bucket list for me is blacktail. It's just something I've always wanted to go hunt, like, California, Washington, up in that area. That's always been something I've always been like, that and the Coues deer, like the elusive, subspecies of over there of the whitetails. That's always been something I've been drawn to.
Well, I could definitely help you out with the
Yeah,
Colombian blacktail. I know all the
Yeah.
public land spots.
awesome.
I'll have to make a trip up there.
Yeah.
Is it hard for an out-of-stater to get a tag up there? Or?
No, they're all over the counter.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like some of the hunting spots. I mean, literally, like you're looking out on the ocean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's surreal. I mean, I probably posted some of the pictures. And
Yeah.
I mean, the zones I go to, I like to go in deep so you don't see anybody and you don't come across any other hunters. And, it's probably inspiration from Cameron Haynes.
Yeah.
When you're chasing those pigs, are they around a lot of ag, or are you up in the mountains chasing them?
Oh, yeah. So we have like a lot of vineyards.
Mhm.
So they're eating like Pinot grapes all the time. So Pinot pigs, they taste amazing.
I was about to ask you, how do those taste?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of my favorite game meats. I mean, especially because it'll take any flavor that you give it. I mean, a lot of people think they're like a garbage animal, but I absolutely love them. And we use almost the whole thing.
Yeah.
Pig. And I personally have not harvested a bad pig. Sometimes I know a couple guys that have depredation permits, so they get pigs and like, you want one? And like, I always take it.
Yeah.
I make carnitas out of it. It accepts
Oh,
all the
love
flavors that you
carnitas.
want. You make tacos out of it.
We've
Yeah.
made um, sausage out of it, and that was really good. A breakfast sausage, that was really good. And
Oh,
I used to
Yeah.
try to eat them all until they became a problem in my area. And what ruined me, and I would still eat one from a different area, but this certain area, I put a trail camera out on my family's dead pit on their cattle ranch, and I was just seeing what I mean. I don't know. I had a subscription on for my reveal cell cams, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool to see what's coming in here. And the pigs were coming in there, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not eating them." After I just saw they were eating a rotten animal, but I
yeah.
was amazed with how many pigs were coming in there, and it was pretty cool to watch because there'd be a big coyote in there or a family of coyotes in there, and they would perk up and just hightail it out. And then here came the pigs, and there were some that would come and lay in, and there was one that I swear she had to have the babies like right before she walked in camera because they were, I mean, tiny and still looked wet, and she just laid over to the right under a tree while the other 20 were down in that dead pit. It was cool to watch that. And then they'd leave, and the white ones would just be covered in blood. I was like, that is insane. I would have never guessed that, but everyone talks about if you feed a pig meat, that becomes one of their favorite things. So I was
Oh,
like, wow.
yeah. They'll eat themselves.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you want to pass over that pig.
yeah. So I didn't know this. When they show pigs around us are pretty big, and they cut the whatever tooth that like the cutters out when they're a
Yep.
baby. And one of the reasons why is they say if they grow them out and bite one of the others and taste that blood, that they become like that's what they want to eat from there on out. And I'm like, holy cow! You
Yeah.
just look at a pig and you don't see that in it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, does the meat have like a sweeter flavor than eating those grapes, or?
I don't know about that. I just yeah, I don't know. It just tastes
Yeah,
good. Those back straps are amazing. Even the tenderloin.
yeah,
That stuff
Best
is just
ribs.
in your mouth.
Yeah, best ribs I ever had was off of 100-pound sow I killed once, and we didn't get a ton of rib meat off of her, but the rib meat we got off of her was insanely good. And
yeah,
like I've had the only pigs that I've ran into that I'm like, you kind of taste weird is the really, really big boars.
yeah.
I'll run into them sometimes and I'm like, okay, you've got a little taste to you, but like 100-pound sow and stuff like that, I'll eat that all day, sausage it all day. That's fine with,
Yeah.
but
I always wanted
also,
to smoke one
yeah,
whole.
yeah,
Oh
like the
yeah.
little, yeah.
That'd be fun. I think that I'd like to try that, but I'm telling you, the area that those are
Well,
ones in, I'm not smoking them whole. But if I can get one at my other property, I will try it.
you didn't tell me they was eating the dead pit across from the road from me. That's where I ate that pig at. I promise you, if
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Now that I'm like,
Gunner Hunt's
okay,
right
dang
across the
it.
road from that dead pit, so he's like, "Man, these pigs taste great."
Oh well, I'd
Oh, that's
probably
funny.
eat. I'd probably even eat the big boars if they was eating grapes. My gosh.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the ones over at us eat a bunch of corn and stuff. It's also why they probably taste corn fed. But
yeah.
now that I know they're eating dead cows, I'm like,
My
Well,
bad.
I
I shouldn't have said that. I guess my bad.
usually open the gut and see what they're eating,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
A
got
lot
you.
of them are eating acorns and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I always check. I'm just fascinated to see what they're eating.
Uh-huh.
yeah. I do that with all my fish too, just to see what I need to be using to catch them next time.
Yeah.
There's some. We found baby turtles and a catfish down in Eufaula that one time. Remember that? Those little snapping turtles, Gunner. We
Yeah, I
went on
do.
that jugging trip.
Did you see that guy at Ulaga that caught that monster blue?
Yeah, yeah. It
I was
wasn't
gonna.
me.
I know. I was gonna say. Don't. I was like, you fish that place,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah. A guy caught an 80-pound blue last week, and I've been fishing that place hard. I can't break like 8 pounds. So, Chuck, do you travel anywhere to hunt, or do you just kind of stay in California? And did you say Utah, or am I making that up?
No, I haven't traveled out of state to hunt, but I feel like I need to get better at hunting before I start spending a ton of money. Like my buddy Hendrik has had a crazy year. You got to look at the Instagram. I mean, he just got back. He killed a mid-Asian ibex.
Oh,
He
wow.
got a muskox. He's actually going to be guiding in, I think it's Greenland or Iceland.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Oh, that is the best meat I've ever had in my life. Muskox tastes like
Uh-huh.
sushi.
Really?
Amazing. The guy's like harvested 2 lions in Nevada. Yeah.
Wow.
I try to post like all his harvests because they're just ridiculous. Sometimes they, they Instagram takes them down. I can't post any of that on TikTok. I already
Yeah.
have like 2 warnings.
Yeah, I have some warnings on TikTok too.
So
It's pretty easy to get a tag in Oklahoma, I heard.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, if
pretty
you ever
easy
want to
to
come
get
to
a tag in
Oklahoma, holler at us. We
We
know
got
a couple
turkey,
places.
we got pigs, turkeys,
Easy on the
whitetails.
turkey. We
turkey.
have limited turkeys.
I've got
Everything
turkey.
else we have plenty of.
You should have at least one turkey out there, according to Gage.
We have our turkey opens March 30th, which I'll be out there.
Yeah.
Our turkey hunting's awesome. We have
Yeah.
good, not in public though, more like private land turkey hunting. It's hard to get a turkey on public land.
What
Mhm.
what type of turkeys are up there?
Oh man,
Would it be Merriam's?
I wouldn't know.
I have no idea.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was gonna look it up.
I'm gonna guess Merriam's.
But I've got a turkey with my bow.
Really?
That's pretty
cool.
fun.
Mhm.
I actually got to hit your guy up that you did a turkey call. Are they box calls that he makes?
He makes everything.
Every
Oh,
kind.
okay.
So yeah, we're about to get a code and all that. So I'll definitely send that to you when we get it.
Nice.
He actually sent me today the centerpiece. He's making us some pot calls, the glass face pot calls with our logo in the middle, and he sent me a picture of them lasering them today, and was like, "All right, they're getting closer." So I was like, "Oh wow!" So that was
Rad.
pretty neat.
That's cool. Yeah,
You gotta
that's so
send me that.
turkey hunting.
I was trying to figure out. I was trying to look up. So they say Merriam's and the Rio Grande are the two in California, based off where you live.
Okay, so it's probably Merriam's.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing for you, because it's more mountains. Yeah, I've already asked that.
Yep.
Is there? Do you guys have any other like big game up there, or just deer? Or
We got deer,
is
bear.
there?
I mean, in California, there's elk,
Okay,
but
that's
we have the
nothing.
Thule elk, which are only in California, and it's impossible to get that tag. Like you're waiting your whole life.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And then, yeah, what else do we have? There's California bighorns,
Yeah.
which is another impossible tag to get. Yeah, so mostly like pig, turkey, and deer. That's what I'm interested in.
Do you do any fishing?
No, man. Unfortunately, I got a buddy who's retired that goes salmon fishing, and he is like a master fisherman. Goes out in the ocean all the time, and like my seasickness has gotten so worse. I'm out there for like 2 hours,
Uh-huh.
and it's instant flu.
Oh,
So I had to like throw the towel in on that, which is a shame because I could go out there. Like he's willing to go out like every day during salmon season, and he is like my buddy is like the version of Henrik for fish, where he's
Wow.
just harvesting everything. But I had to throw in the towel on the open sea fishing.
yeah. That's one thing. I don't get seasick that much or motion sick, but I just wish we could. I wish we had an ocean a little closer. I think it's about 8.5 hours to get to the closest place because I love deep sea fishing.
Yeah.
Like I think Galveston, right?
Yeah,
Or
down in
it's
Texas,
about the closest. Yeah.
Houston. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, like tuna. Oh,
yeah,
I could eat that every single day.
yes, raw and cooked.
Oh, yeah. But even just the salmon, like wild caught salmon. I mean, the majority of salmon that you see in the stores is farmed, and
Yeah.
there's a big difference between the
Oh
two.
yeah. Even we get a store bought catfish down here, and even if you get that and then the wild, there's huge difference in flavor.
Yep.
If people are listening and kind of want to find where your knives are and go buy one or your notebooks, where can they go?
So they can go to GritKnives.com. You can also go to Instagram. I think you can buy some of the products on there. But this is the website here. And you could just scroll through it. It starts with, my story. These are the main knives. The standard collection are like knives that I'll always keep. And then you can go all the way to the next part. And then I sell, like, I'll do my highlighted products. I'll do like limited edition. So I'll probably do like 2 dozen to 4 dozen with unique artwork. And then I also started getting into the gear aspect of it, where it's mostly like pens, notepads. And then there's like everything's sold out because I haven't been home lately. But
I really
I
like
will have
the wallet. I really like that.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. RFID wallet, super minimal. The carabiners are all new. Just small little things that make your life easier. And then we have the logo wear, which this is like constantly changing. Whether I do hats or I'll basically like come up with some drawing and put it on a shirt just because it looks cool. And then, the wolf is actually my most popular shirt.
Wow. And you, like I said, like we stated earlier, you hand draw all this, right?
Yeah. I'll hand draw it, but then I pull it in the computer and draw it.
Wow.
And then the hats. I just come out with like whatever I feel like. And then
what's the story behind this image?
Oh, okay. So I kind of just I love drawing skulls just because I have a punk rock background of always loving that music.
Yeah.
And I basically wanted to create a Clint Eastwood type zombie.
Oh, that. As soon as you said that, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you look at the rash guards, I did maybe it's not live, but I did a whole series of Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood lives in my hometown of Carmel. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why I did the Clint Eastwood zombie.
Like I said, if you guys want to find something, it's GritKnives.com, and you can look at all the product there. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Is there anything else I'm missing? Do you have a Twitter?
Nah, I don't do Twitter.
We don't either.
I did do like
It's X now. Go.
Yeah. You said you do what? Pinterest?
I did, but nobody ever goes to it. So yeah, I just say TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or my website.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on today, Chuck. That means a lot. It's been awesome to see you grow. Our conversations for the last 2 days have been nothing but just you being you and me being me. And I love that. Your products that I've bought, that my buddies have bought, they speak volumes of, what you stand for. So I want to say thank you for that. And thanks for coming on, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I just thank both of you. Taylor and Gunner for allowing me to tell my origin story. It really means a lot that somebody else is going to give me the opportunity to tell it. And this is the first time anybody's ever heard this story. So,
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
Well, thanks for letting us get you on and talking about it. That means a lot. So,
yeah.
Anyways, you guys check us out. Check us out, Outdoor Defiance. If this is your first time listening, we're on iHeartMusic, Amazon Music, Apple, pretty much any of the big platforms for podcasts. We're on YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts there, all of our videos. Make sure you leave a comment, and we'll see you on episode 8.